Hello and welcome back to another episode of Rusted Up Garage. As you can see behind me, we have ourselves another project because around here we have not too many projects going. As you can see, I'm standing under the 55 volts, which is on our Wildfire lift. By the way, this lift is sweet. We've been using it for a few weeks now, and I'm just telling you, you want a good lift, Wildfire lifts, get yourself one. But back to where we're at with the truck. As you can see, we have ourselves a 2017 Chevy Silverado behind me. And this hot rod here is in to get some upgrades. So if you're into the truck stuff, we're not only just doing cars and engines around here, we're doing some truck stuff too. So there's a lot of stuff on the slate for this truck, including we're going to be doing a Banks upgrade with a pedal monster. We're going to be doing their, what is their tuner called, Zach? Their Derringer tuner. Sorry, it just slipped my mind, but the Derringer tuner, we're going to be installing a Derringer tuner in this thing, along with their gauge pods. We're going to be doing their, be a triple stack set of pods on the A-pillar. Oh yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet, Zach. Zach, come on. I mean, they know that we're going to do links in the description, Zach, okay? Okay, just like they also know that they need to be pushing the like button. Like, I think it's over here. Like button, bell button. We need you liking, belling, and sharing this video. Again, this is truck stuff, so I mean, if you're in a little bit of truck stuff, we're going to do some stuff. We know this is a newer truck, not an older truck. We have older truck coming. Probably in January, February-ish, in that time frame anyways. But back to what we're doing at hand. So anyways, we got our hands on a 2017 Chevy Silverado, as I mentioned before. This particular unit is a 1-ton. It is a four-wheel drive model. It is a diesel model, and it is obviously an automatic model because that's how they come now. But anyway, so this is the 2017. This particular truck, there's some things you can't do to it currently right now. So we're going to be doing the upgrades that we can do to it. All the legal upgrades to this truck. So for starters, we're going to do headlight bulb brighteners because she's a little dim at night. We're going to be doing some taillight deletion and addition of some not red ones. And then the old third brake light on the top, that's got to go because it's red. And we're going to put the old smoking smoke look one. So that's the big, basically, light upgrade. We're going to do some fog lights, but we're not going to change these lights themselves. We're just going to put LED bulbs in them. So I'll be going to the table in a minute showing you all our cool stuff. Now, we did go ahead already and put the third brake light in, and we put in the tail lights. And I will have Zach insert pictures here. Okay, now let's get to some of the parts. We're not going to go over the Banks stuff today. Banks will be in our next video, so don't miss the next video. You're going to want to make sure subscribe, like next video, because we're going to be dealing with the Banks stuff. The triple pod, A-pillar, the Derringer tuner, and the pedal monster. And the pedal monster, from what I have heard, it's insane. They say it's a monster. I mean, come on, it's a monster. So let's go over here and talk parts. So basically, we went with Raycon for our tail lights and for our third brake light. Again, this is just a box at this point. We've already installed them. Sorry. We did get the Raycon LED fogs, which are right here. We put the little thing back on it. So we'll be putting those in pretty soon. And then these are the headlights that we're going to be installing. So these are the Lumex LEDs. They're supposed to be bright and stuff. I've never used Lumex. They're supposed to be good. They're really highly rated. We're going to find out. We're going to put one in, turn the lights out, fire them off, see what they do. But anyway, so we got high and lows because again, I don't want to change out the headlights. I like the headlights in this truck. So we're going to just change out the bulbs and see how it does. Next part, these are cool. So we did get Boost Auto Parts. They offer all kinds of mirror accessories and stuff for trucks. So we went ahead and got the paintable caps. We're gonna delete on the chrome, do paint match caps. And then we also have their new tow mirror lights. These are the switchback strips. So these will be really cool. But this will be probably another video as well. We'll do a whole video with just basically taking the mirrors apart and doing the wiring to make these switchbacks all work. But that'll be a cool little feature. Comes with a little bit of wiring and such. Have I ever done them before? No, but I mean, it can't be hard, right? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But the coolest stuff we're gonna be getting to is this HSP stuff. If you don't know who HSP is, look them up. They make some really cool stuff for diesels, for like all different models. They make, it's boost tube stuff. They make cold air intake stuff. They make some really cool parts for lots of different models. So we are gonna open up this box because there's some, you get to see the parts we got for this thing. They have some really cool colors. I think you guys are gonna really love the colors we went with. I think they're gonna really accent this black truck coming. Another thing too that I haven't mentioned this video is we do have front end suspension parts coming as well. We're doing a kryptonite front end on this truck, along with obviously upgrading the wheels and tires. So this will probably be a 3 or 4 part to get through this whole truck. But for today, let's get this HSP stuff opened up, because that is where the cool stuff is at. And we're back. So now let's look at this HSP stuff before we start installing it. Stuff, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas.
Well, I mean, it is Christmas outside.
Ooh. Hey, tell me that's not sexy. Oh yes, it's sexy. Yep. So there you go. So as you can see, it's all open now. Here's all our HSP stuff. And next we'll be starting to rip stuff apart and put it back together. Can't get this side off. Tell you what, Zach, I'll be glad all this crap ain't part of this project.
Oh, it's bolted back here.
No, I know, that's fine. It can be bolted. I just need it to pop out here. Just pop out. Like that. Yeah, that's it. Just pop out. Just give me a little bit of room. I don't need a lot of room. I just need a little bit to get this rubber. You know, these hoses get stuck on this aluminum. So you gotta give them the old work around here. It's like they just fight you, you know? You just,
help me understand. There's nothing left holding you on. See? Told you there's nothing left holding it on. Holy Lord. We don't need that. Well, that's gonna be a problem. Maybe not so much anymore. Okay, you go down there. There we go. Now we're talking. The next thing is we gotta get this to go over this. Come on, just a little bit more. Like that. Oh, Lord. I had nothing left in me. It's a lot of work. Just saying.
It look much nicer.
It does. It's well worth the work, but Lord, that's a lot of work. We want these tight because, you know, if we don't, they'll leak.
So basically, we got that radiator hose back on. Just a little adjustment. But now that now that's back on, we're back in the shop. We're gonna remove this plastic shroud so we can get to the headlights, the marker lights, and then we're gonna pull the inner fender wells out so we can get to the boost tubes. And we're also gonna remove on this whole menagerie here too. So I'm just gonna remove a bunch of clips, and we'll probably put you in a little fast forward mode, and we'll talk in between when we have important stuff to talk about. So we removed the intake, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a few clamps. When all this comes apart, you have to unplug one connector here. And then once you pull the air box out, the air box actually just is in two rubber grommets, so you just pop them and the air box comes out. So here is this tube right here that we're gonna replace. As you can see, it's kind of snaked down through here.
I can't see nothing.
Oh, well, we got a nice little help them lay their peepers on this.
Now they can do some seeing.
Okay, so that bottom tube is going to replace all of this. So from here down, this will screw back into the new tube. And then, so you basically got a bolt there, and I think there's just a silly little clamp down there, which is a little bit tricky to get to and pop off. But we will be reusing that clip down there. So what's next is I just gotta basically get this out so we can get this popped apart. Then I gotta get up underneath there somehow and try to get that one clip. It's like a C-clip. Kind of a pain in the rear end to get off. But we'll get it off one way or another. But this is going to really change the flow for sure. I mean, this thing has more cut-ups and twists and turns and springs and rubbers, and I mean, it's got everything. So, but we're going to work on getting this apart, and we'll put you back on whatever mode. Okay, so we did get the boost tube off. This side right here, you just kind of move it a little bit and it just pops off. There's just an O-ring type thing. We are gonna have to transfer the unit. But now these are the clips I was talking about. It's kind of a pain. So if you reach in there, you can kind of get in there with a screwdriver and you pop it, and it kind of, see, it kind of clicks back on this like that. And then you can do the same on this side, and you can get it on underneath there and get it up here. And once you do that, you can actually pull this unit out. But now what we're going to have to do is we need to transfer, and then this right here will pull out the same way. It kind of just lifts out around here and like that. So just so you guys know, when you're trying to pull these off,
That's the trick to them. And then I don't know the trick to getting these stupid things off. It's basically we need this clamp. Like that. So we're gonna pull that clamp off just like that. And then we're gonna transfer that onto this guy here, and you can tell, so there's a smaller one and two bigger ones, so it's gonna go back on just like that. So basically you got the smaller one, the two bigger ones, just like that. Okay, and this is just gonna slide over top of that. Why does it come with an O-ring? I guess you gotta transfer all of this part. There's definitely a spot for an O-ring in here. So. Maybe. So basically I just transferred that O-ring, that lip O-ring that was on this one, and I transferred that. So now basically this thing should just slide and snap right back on. I am going to pre-tighten this guy here because it's going to be a real pain in the butt to get to. The second one won't be so bad. So let me okay, perfect. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of difference between these two. This thing is, I mean, it's just nice and smooth and clean. And then you got this menagerie here that's not nearly as smooth or as clean. So, but like I said, do remember to transfer over your rubber and transfer over your clip. And if you move them two over, you'll be fine. On the top, it gets a rubber boot, so you don't have to bring over any of this part. The only thing you're gonna have to bring over is that guy there. So, and I'm not going to put the tube on yet because I don't know exactly where that needs to fit in there. So, but basically I'm gonna get this guy snapped back on in here. And you can tell it clips back on when it snaps. Like that. And she made a good seal. And I can still get to this guy here. And I can tighten the second one up right here, as you can see. So basically I just slid that one in like that. And like I said, the rubber's in there. And we snapped it all in there. So we should not have any leaks. Now it's just a matter of getting the tube down in there. I'm going to transfer over the sensor first. Put the tube down in here, get that slid on here, and then figure out which direction, how this guy needs to go on. So I'll get back to you when we get that part put on. Okay, so we got this one in. A few little tricks. Make sure you put a little spray away or a little something on the rubbers so you can slip them a little bit, because what we're having problems with is getting this guy up in here enough. Basically, you had to pull that bottom out to get this to come up in far enough to catch. The other thing too we were having issues with is this upper clamp. It's barely big enough. Wish they had a little bit bigger clamp. We got it, but it is a little bit tricky. We ended up having to use some pliers right here and squeeze it a little bit to get it started, and then it tightened up. So it should be fine now. So like I said, and then this one right here weren't coming up enough, but it's because the bottom had to slide out, and it was sticking in there. We couldn't get to slide out. So if you put a little spray away, it lets them slide around, and as you can see now there's enough room. You know, none of this is out of the way. We'll end up having to obviously zip tie this stuff up because the original clips don't exist, I don't think, unless for some reason in the airbox they do, but I doubt it. So but there, so one tube is done. Next would probably be probably work on this airbox next on this side, get this buttoned up. We did change the fog light It's a lot easier, of Zach, get to it. It's a lot easier to get to the fog light and change that out from underneath here. These fog lights come with extra stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna hook all that up. I just basically wanted a fog light. So that part's done. We're going to obviously get the airbox in. I'll get that stuff zip tied up and cleaned up. Put the inner fender back in. We get this side back down, and then go to that side, jack it up, get the tire pulled, get the inner fender pulled, and so we can get all that done. And then once we get all this done, we'll take it out for a quick little ride, see how this improvement does, and then we'll start on the next video, which would be basically the Banks setup. So, okay, so I'm putting the cold air intake on, and I love the cold air intake. It's very, I mean, it's nice, but I'm running into a slight problem, and the fact is there's no real brackets holding any of this down, so it just kind of sits there, the weight of it, and it's heavy. So what I'm having is it's pushing down on this box. You see how this box is just like this? It goes into the factory rubbers, but there's literally nothing to keep it like that. That's what we need it to do, stay just like that. And there's just nothing, it won't do that. It's aggravating me. So what I've done is I took a piece of stainless and I made me a L bracket. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just bolt that to the unit up top high, and then I'm going to bolt this through the inner fender right here. It's just, I need something to keep that like that, and that will allow all this to stay in line here. But right now it's just, there's just nothing, and the weight there's no way to keep the weight off from this without like bringing it up, tightening it so it's kind of sits high. But it's just not, it's not exciting me. So I think this repair will fix that. So it's something for you guys to look at. I don't know how you guys are doing your systems, if they just sit different or what, but I just don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. So again, I made this little bracket up. I'm gonna put that bracket in here, bolt it together, and then we'll take a look at it and see how it works. Basically, the box just sits in these factory mounts, which is fine, but it's too floppy. So basically, I just took this bracket. Now I kept it back from the rubber, so when the rubber pushes up against it, it'll make that seal that they're trying to make. But this should really work a lot better. So it just snaps into these factory rubbers like that, and then this one snaps in right here. And then the whole problem is back here. It's just don't sit. And that's right where it needs to sit, square right there. There. Now you can see that that's just so much better. It's all pushed into the rubbers just like they designed it. It's just amazing what that one little bracket did. Now, I'll have to get with HSP and say, hey, it's probably something you should add to your system, because it'll make a huge difference, especially when you're trying to put this all together. Other than that, I've loved it so far. So, I mean, you can barely tell the difference. I'm not sure how that's going to help horsepower at all, or flow. I mean, I don't know what GM was thinking adding all this extra crap. I mean, you got springy things, you got freaking just junk everywhere. So yeah, these tubes should really help flow quite a bit. Now it's just to get this one back up in there. That's gonna be the trick. So there. We got all this back together. It looks good. What a difference though, huh? Amazing.
Should perform better too.
Yep.
At least that's
just for step 1 too.
Yeah.
We haven't done step 2 yet. That's coming. But, okay, let's get these last lights done, and then we can try out step 1, and then prep for step 2.
Okay, so basically to get the headlight out, first you take the grill out, which has a bunch of bolts in the top, and then a bunch of these clips that go here. And you just basically pry them out and the grill falls out. And then on these headlights, there's, actually, I'll show you over on this one. There's a bolt here, and a bolt up here. And then also on the inside of the wheel well, I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but right up here, right above the fog light, there's another bolt that has to come out.
So, once the headlight comes out, it's pretty simple. You just have to turn these little caps and pull that out. Then you turn this little cap. We actually put them on backwards last time, but I don't think it matters. Out. And then you pop off that little wire right there, and you twist out the bulb. So now this is the high beam, which is a 9005, which is this guy right here is the 9005 replacement. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I'll put the cap back on the 11.
So basically, this is the LED replacement. This is the existing bulb. So when you install these, the biggest thing is you want this bulb facing straight up and down. So they generally do, but there is an adjuster. You can unscrew that and twist this collar if you need to. We're just going to try them and see if they work for us. And you can tell that they're up and down because the wire is also up and down. Now the other thing too is these are polarity. Polarity does matter, so we know black is going to be the ground. And if you look on here, you can't really see it, but there's a negative and a plus. So we know we want the black on the negative side, so we're going to plug that in. And then what I did was I just grabbed this double sticky tape like this, stuck that there, peeled her back like that, and then this is there's like a little flat spot in here, and I just basically double stick taped that underneath there, just like that. And then this cap right here, that one goes back on like that. And then we grab the top bulb with the same idea. You unplug it, twist the bulb out. It's funny, these are projectors, and they're not even using a projector bulb. They're just using a regular light bulb. So that's why these bulbs are so crappy. So grab this one, same idea. We want it up and down. So we're gonna pop it in here like this, and we're gonna give it a twist. And as we can see, it is perfect. And then the same thing, we're looking for the negative.
Hang on.
It ain't gonna do it, but it's negative and positive.
Yep, they can see it.
And you just need to basically negative to negative. And then I did the same thing. I took the double stick tape. That's a little Allen wrench in case you gotta make that adjustment on these. We're gonna stick that like that. Peel this off. And then I'm gonna tuck this in here like this. And then there's kind of like a little, this one was a little bit harder because I actually came down underneath and kind of stuck it up underneath here because there was a flat spot for it. And then same thing, we're gonna put this back in like this, twist that, and then we can basically put the headlight back in, which is one plug, like that. One plug in.
And it kind of just shimmies in. And that's it. That's in.
And that's it. Just like that. And then
you put all the bolts back in it and
we check it before we
bolt it in.
They working?
Nope. None of them are though.
Oh.
You turn the four-wheel drive selector, didn't you? Hey, look, they're on. And you can see that is a big difference. So now we're working on this fog light, which you can access while you have that inner fender taken out.
Right, and these literally have little rubbers they just pop into. So now this came with a bunch of extras. I don't want all that extras. All I want's a fog light. So basically,
Push in there.
yeah, it's just a matter of finding where it needs to be. Then coming on this side right here. Trying to lay the peepers out on this sucker. She's dark back here. Come on. Why is it that the shop light never ever is in the right position? I mean, is this like the law or something? It's like, I just don't get it. One of them, there's two of them, and then the bottom one's a little bit trickier, but there it is right there. Okay, so there, now we got the other tube in. And that's all done, headlights are all done, we can put the grill back on, and we'll take her off for a quick test ride, and then bring it back in here and start the Banks upgrade. Stage 1. Done. Stage 2, fix the stupid pedal in this thing. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be coming out probably within a few days of this video, which will be the conclusion where we're going to be installing the entire bank setup and adding a pedal monster and all that other fun stuff with some gauges. But the first project of the cold air intake and the hot and cold side tubes, all done. The headlights are done, tail lights are done, which actually doesn't have, we've gone out there and, you know, gave you a little recording of those suckers. But they're nice. But anyways, thanks again for watching. If you stuck with the whole video, like I said, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. I know it's called Rusted Up Garage, but some stuff's just not gonna be rusty yet, okay? But I promise you someday this truck will be rusty. Just ain't gonna be for a few more years. So again, hit the subscribe, hit the like. Thanks a lot for watching, and till next time, peace out.